Hey everyone, we're doing another species spotlight on a really cool little species, although he's a little grumpy with me because I absolutely woke him up. And this is the Trans-Pecos rat snake. These guys are an amazing species. They're really, really cool. And I just got into him. He's actually my very first one, as you know, pertaining to my usual habits of getting a single male instead of getting a pair or a trio. So these guys, they're called Trans-Pecos rat snakes, also sometimes called the Davis Mountain rat snake. They're found in the Chihuahua Desert in southern Arizona, parts of Texas, and Mexico. And there he is railing up. He's probably going to take a pop at me. And we're going to try to avoid that, but we'll see what he's doing because he's just a baby rat snake, and that's what happens. These guys are in the species or the genus Subocularis. And they get that name, which hopefully we can get it on camera here, if we can get them to look at the camera. There's a small scale between the upper jaw and the eye, which are the subocular scales, which is why they get their name, Subocularis. Hopefully that'll pick that up. I promise it's there. I really do. These guys are a really, really cool species of rat snake. So as I said before, that they get that subocularis in those. If you notice also, while we're talking about the subocularis in the eyes, as he's sitting there keying in on my hand, they have very large eyes. They almost look like they're bugged out eyes, like, you know, sometimes you see in like the leucistic snakes, that bug eye. Well, they're not. They actually just have very large eyes. And they do kind of level out a little bit as they get older, but they have those very large eyes because they are strictly nocturnal hunters. A lot of snakes are fairly crepuscular, but these guys are nocturnal hunters, and they're very active at night as well. And so that's why they have those big, bright silver eyes with those giant pupils. Oh, I know. Another thing that's really cool about these snakes is that really cool like H ladder pattern along their dorsal. That makes them very, very striking animal. They normally are this kind of light tannish color, but they come in several different morphs, including a blonde and an axanthic phase, which looks really cool. And this little guy is actually het for both. And his name is actually Chai. I forgot about that. Yeah, he's just being a little bugger right now. I know. That's the thing about baby rat snakes. They get that reputation for being very striking and defensive, and he's absolutely living up to that. He's normally not this bad, but I promise he really was just woken up. These guys are, like I said before, they make usually pretty good pet snakes, although he's doing a very good job of proving me wrong. They only get about 4.5 feet long. They usually have a fairly docile temperament compared to a lot of other North American rat snakes, like the western rats or the black rats, although once again, he's making a liar out of me. There he goes. You can keep them. They're fairly hardy because they're a North American colubrid species. Almost got my face. I need to be more aware of that. I'm not used to the super striky little colubrids like this. This is their setup, which is why I'm in here for this kind of change of scenery. So this is the setup that I keep him on, and that doesn't mean that this is the best setup for them. So as you've seen in a lot of the videos, I always like to try to give them a choice between the two substrates of the type of species that I know will work in the enclosure that I'm setting up. So this is where they normally live. They live in kind of like rocky outcroppings where they'll come out, and then the actual soil and terrain is either this very loose sandy soil or kind of rocky desert soil. And so that's why there's the choice between both of these. And so there's light over both, there's a big water dish in the middle, and they both have hides and places for him to climb and hide. So that way he can decide where he wants to be throughout that. But you don't need to keep them on anything like that too. You can keep them on just aspen bedding and they do just fine. They're really, really cool, very hardy species of snake. Okay. So that's what makes these guys really, really cool. So they're an amazing, cool-looking species, and of course, Chai's making a liar out of me again, that they're usually fairly docile for North American rat snake species. Really cool fact about these guys is that, so herping, you know, going out and looking for specific reptiles and amphibians, that's a really big thing in the hobby. A lot of people don't even keep reptiles, and they still like to go out and do that. In Texas and Arizona, the big thing looking for these guys, specifically Texas, is when they go out herping, they're really looking for the gray band king snake. That's like, you know, the Everest of a lot of herpers down in southern Texas. These guys, in kind of all parts of the range, are actually more of an even rarer find. Like, these guys are very hard to come across in the wild when you're out looking for them. And that's why actually a lot of the ones that we find in the hobby are almost all captive bred. There's almost no wild caught ones that are floating around in the hobby right now. But I think it'd be really cool to go out to southern Texas one of these days, go on a big herping trip, look for a bunch of, really cool rattlesnakes, look for gray banded king snakes, and look for these guys, which would be really, really cool. Again, I really wish he wasn't so cranky with me today, because I was trying to show off how docile these guys are for a rat snake, but I guess we'll just stick with the scaleless rat snake to show off that they can in fact be docile. But hopefully you enjoyed this video today. I had a lot of fun. I'm just learning about this species too. So if any of you out there keep subocs, which is like, the colloquial name that we give for them, please absolutely feel free to throw some comments or some fun facts in the comments below. If I misspoke on anything, absolutely willing to take that. I'm pretty sure I got all my stuff nailed down though. But again, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know down in the comments. Questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them down below. Email me at jzsreptiles@gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram, all that social media jazz. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll check you next time.